Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to be having an FPV talk. So there are a couple things I'm having issues with. For example, the 7-inch build with the iFlight budget stack. So the budget stack is having some issues here, which I'll show you. I've actually recorded some of the problems we're going to take a look at and also diagnose. Also, we're going to be talking about the Skyzone issue. I personally haven't had the issue, but I know exactly what the issue is. So that would help some people out there as well who are having that issue. And also, we're going to be talking about Frsky and why I might not be using Frsky products anymore and switching to something else. I do have two candidates, some Radio Master, Radio King, and or the TBS Tango. So, and a quick note on the FPV Price Comparison website, which I've released, and it's also available in the AskFPV application. So I've added plenty of more websites as well and fixed a couple things. Also added the most searched products here, so you can choose whatever product, or you can see what people are searching for. Not only that, the AskFPV, the app version of this, will have new features such as product subscription, so you can subscribe to a product and get notified for a sale alert, price drop alert, and also a coupon alert, which is going to be really great. And these coupons will be very exclusive only to AskFPV application, so they should definitely work. And if not, you make sure you contact me and I'll fix that up for you. But that is going to be upcoming within the next two updates. The web version of this, the only reason I released it is because there was so much request for it. And those features will be implemented later on. First, it's the application, then those will be implemented into the web version as well. Now, the web version doesn't look the best, but I just copy pasted it from the application, and later on I'll be fixing up the web version. Now it just does this job. You go here, you search what you want. For example, I want a Tango 2. I want to buy a Tango 2, to be honest. Either Tango 2 or Radio Master, but I'm really leaning over the Tango 2 right now. So you can see we have AMAX AU. If you don't know what AMAX is, there's also the China shop as well, AMAX CN. So I'm slowly also starting to develop the regions, and you'll be able to choose by region. So if you choose Europe, it'll see what websites has the European warehouse and what websites are from Europe, and it'll give you a search result from those, China and US, and you can enable all of them, or you can enable one and be specific. So I am starting to introduce and find local shops as well, so it could be very beneficial for everybody. So that would be pretty interesting. The search results still need a bit more refinement for the comparing. I found a new library for a neural net search algorithm that I'll be training soon and testing it out, because I really want to group this stuff. So whatever it is, I want to group it exactly under. So that, like the Mamba F405 with the F60 right here, Mamba F405 with the F50, and then just be grouped with like a tab, so you can be able to quickly go through these instead of having just a huge list that's by descending price order. Now, I'll be also adding advanced filters later on as well. It'll be in the upcoming days. Just keep checking back. I'm constantly working on this. You'll see updates every other day. And I usually change out the colors every time I release a major update. Before it was blue. Now it's like red and orange, red and yellow. And just constantly playing with that, so you know if there's something new that's just happened. All right, now let's jump into the products. So let's go ahead and start off with the iFlight 7-inch here. So right now what I've done is, if you missed this build, it's linked down below. It's using the iFlight budget stack. It's a 7-inch rocking 2508 1700 kV motors. Now, luckily I used the Dalrc folds. Now, from a lot of testing, the Dalrc folds seem to have the less amount of thrust, and at the same time pull the less amperage, which is really great. And that's a good thing, because I could have possibly burnt the ESC. Now, I didn't install low ESR capacitor on this on purpose to see what's going to happen, because I knew this ESC was noisy from my noise testing results. So what happens is on 5S it flies beautiful. Once I put the 6S, that's when shit went crazy. So for example, I was flying it, and then I noticed it started to twitch on hard maneuvers. And that's when really the voltage spike kicks in, especially when the motors break and that current goes back to the ESC. So 5S, it was okay. Once I stuck to 6S, it started doing that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this flip, which you're going to see right now. So I ended up doing a flip, and then it flips again by itself. And I was like, okay, it's landing it. I'm landing it now before it chops my head off. So clearly there is noise either touching the gyro, or it could be something possibly wrong with the ESC. One of those two. So 6S, and the thing is, I wasn't flying super aggressively that day, and it was really cold as well. So obviously the battery wasn't on its optimal performance, so obviously it wasn't getting that much amperage as well. So probably on a warmer day, I would have probably had more issues there. So that's something to take into consideration. Now, if you don't know this, a capacitor is kind of like a bandage. It doesn't solve all the issues. It's like you got a really deep cut and you're bleeding. A bandage will kind of help you temporarily, but it doesn't solve the bleeding. Obviously, you probably need stitches or something like that. So you can kind of think of it that way. You really want something that's already pretty good. So I'm planning on replacing the internals here or building a second one with the F50 Mamba, which I recommend as one of the best budget ones. And later on, we'll also do some of the Vlogs as well and do some long-term comparison and hopefully get some great data behind that. So that's something that I was having an issue with there with the 7-inch. Now for the Skyzones, they're really great goggles, and let's talk about the issue here. These have been my main driver. I haven't had the issue, and I think I know why I haven't had the issue. So the issue happens in the syncing after you unplug and replug a battery. So if it sits idle for a while and then you plug it back in, it sometimes would freeze. And that's due to some sort of a syncing issue with the LED drivers or the video processing part in here. And the simple fix is just unplug and plug it back in. Right now, Skyzone's working on the firmware. I don't know if they released it by now. That should fix all of those problems. So it's not really a big issue that's going to happen while you're in mid-flight, really. It's just when you unplug the battery. So that's a really nice thing. I haven't been able to replicate it, though, personally. And this issue could possibly due to some cameras, because not all cameras are created equally, and maybe their synchronization pulses are slightly off, or just not up to standard, and that could possibly cause the issue. So it's not a full-blown defect of the goggle. It's something that could be hopefully easily fixed, and it seems that way from what the issue actually is. So that's something really nice to know. Now let's talk about Frsky. So Frsky, I've been having a ton of, well, I don't want to say problems. There's really no problem. It's just really annoying. I've been switching between my X9 Lite and my Horus X10. And, you know, sometimes when I go flying, I forget to bring my X10. And it turns out that quadcopter needed an X10 due to the receiver. And that could get annoying pretty damn quickly, especially with the whole new firmware bullshit. And Frsky, I really hope you're watching, because that firmware that's it. It's really ruining you. So I'm planning on switching to either some sort of a Radio Master or the Radio King or whatever. But more likely, I'm tending to go down the Tango 2 route. Actually, let's go ahead and see how much are the Tango 2s right now. So we can quickly see that really quickly. By the way, I fixed the enter button. I forgot to code that in last time. So let's just see here. 192 for the third version. And this is from AMAX EU. So this is from the European warehouse of AMAX here. Let's see, what do we have? Pyro drone, it's on pre-order. Tango 2 V3 as well. So let's see. I don't know. I'm planning on getting one of these. Maybe this kit looks really nice. The problem is I really need a multi-protocol module because I have a ton of XM Plus radios. And the TBS Crossfire radios are slightly expensive. So for me to put those on a micro or something is overkill in my opinion. I personally don't need it. But something like this, that's when I would go and install a TBS Crossfire receiver, or a 5-inch that I tend to fly quite far. Those are probably the things that I would probably put those TBS Crossfire receivers. But it's really nice to know that you have that built-in TBS Crossfire part, and as well as be able to set up a module, a multi-protocol module to be exact. So it gives you the flexibility of all of the receivers. And that's something I'm planning on doing. Still haven't made up my mind just yet, but I would like to hear your opinions. If any of you use the TBS Tango, or if we should just go the Radio Master route and try those out as well. Let's actually just see this one real quick. This one's really nice. I mean, it sounds really nice. You get the TBS Crossfire, you get 3 receivers, or is that 4? All right, so you get 3 receivers here, as far as I know, and you get the mod, because you'll need to mod it in order to run this. So it's probably not very user-friendly, and to be honest, I don't want to actually deal with that probably. I'll probably just get one of these and just call it a day. I'll probably get the Pro version, because you could also fold in the gimbals. I think that's really intelligent, and it just saves a lot of space as well. So here's one for pretty cheap, actually. Do they have it in stock, though? It's on back order. 160 bucks from GETFPV. If you're in Europe, you probably want to go to AMAX and pick it up if you want fast shipping. Let's see if AMAX even has it. I've converted the euro to dollar, by the way, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can actually have a good comparison between other dollar websites. So it's also on pre-order currently. It's 192 bucks. It's really nice though. This is not the Pro version though. Obviously in Europe it's a bit more expensive for us because of the taxes. An absolute killer here. So yeah, definitely planning on switching over. I know many people probably already switched by now. So let me know what you guys would recommend down below. And definitely check the links, and also check AskFPV application. Don't miss out on the features. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.